the CC Manual, inspire your audience. Title of his speech is The Graduation Speech. Bill Ingersol, The Graduation Speech.
8 to 10.
8 to 10.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters. How many people here have been to a graduation ceremony in the last couple of years? High school, college, whatever. Now tell me, be honest with me, how many people could actually stay awake during the ceremony? That's pretty much what I expected.
Yeah.
My wife and I went through about a 10-year period where we went through a whole slew of graduations. We had 3 kids, they're staggered a couple years apart. And between junior high school and college, we were going to graduation ceremony just about every year. Some years we had 2 graduation ceremonies. And I have to admit, for the most part, for darn near every one of those ceremonies, I really had a tough time staying awake. With one major exception. When 2008, our oldest son graduated from the College of William & Mary in Williamsburg, Virginia. Otherwise known as the Tribe. You see I have my William & Mary shirt on. The scheduled commencement speaker was Margaret Thatcher.
Wow.
And I have the utmost respect for the Iron Lady. And I really would have enjoyed hearing her speak. But let's face it, she can be very dry and slow, and in the true dry British tradition, she could also put people to sleep. But as it turned out, she had a scheduling conflict at the last minute, and she was actually with the Chancellor for William & Mary. But she had a scheduling conflict, so she had to bow out at the last minute. So the founding fathers of William & Mary, they had to scout around and find a new commencement speaker. How many football fans we have here? Any National Football League fans? There we go. Dean will tell you right here. We have any Pittsburgh Steelers fans? Yeah, there you go. We got a Steeler fan, maybe.
Not really.
Well, Mike Tomlin is head coach of Pittsburgh Steelers, and he is a William & Mary graduate. So they were able at the last minute secure Mike Tomlin as a commencement speaker. And I will guarantee you that nobody fell asleep in Mike Tomlin's presentation. For those of you not familiar with Mike Tomlin, he took over as head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2007. At that time, he was the youngest head coach in NFL history. And two years later, in 2009, he led the Pittsburgh Steelers to the Super Bowl. The Steelers won the Super Bowl, making him the youngest head coach ever to win a Super Bowl. And listen to him speak, you really understand how he got to be a head coach in the National Football League. Because he definitely knows how to motivate people. He started out a speech, and he said, when he interviews players to come play for the Pittsburgh Steelers, first question he asked them, he says, did you graduate from college? And most of them graduated. And then the second question he asked is, who was your commencement speaker? And he says, not one. Not one player could remember who their commencement speaker was. Well, graduates, I guarantee you that today you will remember who your commencement speaker was. And of course, the place just goes crazy. And he went on to proceed to deliver, which was essentially, I'm going to guess pretty close word for word, the speech he gave the Pittsburgh Steelers to go out and win the Super Bowl. He said, graduates, this auditorium is your locker room. And that world out there, out that door, that's your playing field. And you need to play the game of life just as if you play the game of football. You need to play with honesty. You need to play with integrity. You need to play with passion, and you need to play with intensity. But most of all, you need to play it. You need to play to the best of your ability, plus a little bit more. And you need to play it better than the other guy. You need to play it better than the other guy on the other side of the line of scrimmage, better than the other guy on the other side of the desk. You need to play the game better than the other guy. And if you do that, you will win at the game of life. And I guarantee every one of those graduates walked out of that auditorium at the end of the day, and they had a heart full of motivation. They were definitely motivated, if you excuse the term, to go tackle the tough problems of life. So I started thinking, we need more great motivators in this country. People that can motivate young people to really go out and face the challenges of life. And it seems like in the world of sport, we've got a lot of good motivators in the world of sports. Like Mr. Dean Miller here is an excellent example. Sports, we have great motivators. But I look around at other professions, we don't see that level of motivation. We need more motivation to really motivate young people. So I started thinking, okay, now what would happen if somebody asked me to go give a commencement speech at a graduation? I said, well, what would I tell? What would I tell a bunch of young kids? And I started thinking, and I just drew a blank. So I was like, God, I don't know what I'd say. So I started thinking back to my own graduation and my high school graduation. I had to give a little speech, just a short one. They asked me to do the invocation. Now, how they picked me, a semi-athletic basketball jock who dropped out of Sunday school in the 5th grade, and I couldn't even spell invocation, let alone get up in front of 2,500 people and try and deliver one. So that was very less than impressive, probably full of guffaws. But that was very less impressive, so that's not something to drop on. So I think what I would tell a group of graduates or young people, I think I would tell them the same thing that I tell my own kids. My kids, when they're small, they always ask me, they say, what can I be when I grow up? What should I do when I grow up? And what I tell them, I said, you can be whatever you want to be. But you need to do something that you really enjoy. Now, most people tell their kids, they got to be a doctor or a lawyer or make a lot of money. But I never took that approach. I said, you've got to figure out what you really want to do, what you really enjoy doing in life. Make that your passion, and then learn how to do it better than anybody else. Because you're going to be doing it your whole life. You're going to spend your whole life doing something. And you're going to have tough times. You're going to have problems. You're going to have times where you got to work all weekend and your buddies are hanging out at the beach or something like that. And so you better pick something you enjoy doing. And my kids they're pretty practical. I said, well, yeah, but can you make a living doing anything? I mean, what happens if you want to be a Greek archaeologist or something like that, I said, you can make a living doing whatever you want, but you need to make it your passion, and you need to do it better than anybody else. If you want to be a Greek archaeologist, you can make a living doing that, but you better be prepared to get your feet dirty. You better be prepared to go halfway around the world and go dig up bone to some archaeological site. You need to do it better than anybody else. And then you need to be able to write about it. You make anything from business letters to contracts to technical papers to books. You need to be able to write about it. And then you need to be able to articulate it verbally. Get up, give talks on it, conduct meetings on it, give speeches on it, conduct classes on it. You need to be able to articulate it. And what do you do if you can't articulate it? You join Toastmasters, right? But you need to be able to articulate your profession. Most of all, you have to be passionate about it. Because I guarantee that anybody who is really passionate about their subject, anybody that is really truly successful, has true passion about what they're doing. You can bet Bill Gates is passionate about computers. You can bet whoever invented that iPhone is passionate about that sound ring. Maybe that's a Bill Gates. Maybe that's a Bill Gates sound ring. Then you take Donald Trump. I guarantee Donald Trump is passionate about building skyscrapers. I guarantee you, Lee Iacocca is passionate about building cars, even though he got bought out by Fiat. And I guarantee that Mike Tomlin is passionate about football. So what would I tell a bunch of young graduates? I say, you need to figure out what you really want to do in life, what you really enjoy doing. And then you need to make that your true passion. You need to learn how to articulate it. both in writing and verbally. And then you need to learn how to do it better than anybody else. And if you do that, you will win at the game of life. Mr. Toastmaster.